So I have a confession. Even as a professional who's worked in autism for 20 years, there are things about this journey that I was ignoring until I really started listening to parents. Things that I didn't learn in school, things that other professionals dismiss or minimize, but are essential to know so that we can better support you. Today, I'm sharing the 10 realities of complex autism that I learned from parents and suggestions to reduce the overwhelm and get through the day. Now, you may identify with some or all of these, and I'd love to hear from each of you, so be sure to leave a comment below. Now, before I get started, I just want to say I am grateful to all the parents that I've worked with and will work with. You have taught me so much more than you'll ever know. Hi, I'm Dr. Dana Johnson. I'm an occupational therapist with a PhD in child mental health and development, and I help parents of complex autistic children understand what's really driving their child's challenges. Okay, so let's dive into these 10 realities. Now, number 1, it's exhausting, like beyond anything else. And when I was first doing my dissertation for my PhD, I did my dissertation on the lived experience of a parent of a child with autism. And I learned through research and through talking with parents just like you that having a child with autism and the stress levels are equivalent to those of a combat soldier. And I heard it over and over again. It's exhausting. Now, what can you do? Well, give yourself grace. And that doesn't mean just stop. It doesn't mean that you don't keep advocating for your child. It means acknowledging that you don't have to be that super parent to everyone all the time. And the second thing you can do is ask for help. Community is everything, and it's essential to both your child and you. Number 2, every journey is different, but unfortunately, sometimes this isn't respected. And maybe you have felt this way, where another parent has said, no, that's not how it is, or I can't believe that you're doing XYZ. And I think, well, your child is unique and they may need something different. So what can you do? Well, definitely own your journey. Be confident because you've got this. Now, learn as much as you can and definitely seek out experts, but align with experts who you connect with and that believe in your child, because that's where the progress is going to happen. Number 3, you are the expert in your child, even though you may feel gaslit more often than not. Now, this one crushes me because you are the expert in your child and you hire your team to support you and your child, not the other way around. Now, make sure that your team understands this, because if you want your child to make those gains, which I know every single parent does, it's essential that you are the driver of the train. Number 4, doctors, therapists, and other professionals don't know everything, even though they talk like they do. Now, this can be hard because you go and seek out expert advice and recommendations from the experts themselves. However, like I said, they don't know it all. And so now, because of the information overload, you have access to things that you might not have a long time ago. So take advantage of that. And I know it's hard because time is not easy as an autism parent, but you being a much more informed consumer can now help you make the best decisions for your child. And then from there, go with your gut. Number 5, diet has a huge impact on your child. Now, I recently did a video on the impact of ultra-processed foods. So be sure to check that out, because in that video, I talk about how 70% of American children's diets are comprised of ultra-processed foods. 70% of what your child eats is ultra-processed. Now, that is shocking to me, because if we can start to shift things away from foods that are contributing to their dysregulation or their own brain fog, that is step one in terms of helping them feel better. So don't start by taking away and overhauling their food all at once, because that can be stressful. But consistency and introducing and encouraging new food choices is your first step to helping them feel better. Number 6, medical issues that are specific to autism. Things like seizures, gut issues, pain, dysregulation, self-injury. Now, I know that in the majority of my videos, I probably bring this up, but that's just because so many of the families that I work with have questions around dysregulation or self-injury, and I always ask them about medical issues. Does your child have gut issues or seizures, or do you know if they're in pain? And often this isn't even discussed amongst doctors and their patients and their families. And so this is something that I feel very passionate about, because if your child's in pain, then that's going to affect everything, including your whole family dynamic. So what can you do? Well, make sure that your doctor understands the medical complexities of autism. And if they don't, then I've added a link in the description below where you can find a doctor that specifically understands this in your area. Number 7, you suspect that your child has more cognitive abilities than you've been told. Now, I want you to know that you're right. The autistic clients that I work with have motor planning issues, and that makes us think that they have cognitive delays, because every way that they would have to demonstrate their knowledge requires motor planning, and proficient and intentional motor planning. Parents tell me all the time, I knew my child was in there because of, and then they proceed to give me an example. Like, I walked into the kitchen and there were the magnetic letters on the fridge and they had spelled words. Now, what can you do with this? You can believe it and presume competence in them. And most importantly, if you have a child that is non-speaking or unreliably speaking, they need a reliable way to communicate to demonstrate that they know and understand. And I want you to check out my video on communication methods and make communication a priority. Have expectations for your child that are higher than what you might have been told to do or what you might think. And then learn about motor planning and how you can support your child with motor coaching. Number 8, you can't do this alone, even though we all try, but we are wired for community. We're wired to be relational humans and to be able to rely on people to help us. So join a community. Now, I'm excited, and I want you to stay tuned for some exciting announcements on a project that I am working on. And if you want to be included in the email announcement that's going to go out prior to the launch, please comment below and let me know. Number 9, the worry is real over what happens to my child when I'm gone. Now, I hear this from families that talk about how this is their greatest fear, especially as their child gets older. And what can you do about this? Well, this goes into number 10, which is self-care is caring for your child. But I know it's not a priority for most. It's tough. You are exhausted, like I said at the beginning. There are so many other things that seem to be a priority, and you aren't on that list. But I'm going to encourage you to think about that, because if that is your greatest fear, making self-care a priority is going to help with that fear. You're going to be able to be around longer for your child. And start off by just one thing per week. Go for a walk. Get on the phone uninterrupted with one of your best friends. Just be in silence for 10, 15 minutes. Whatever that looks like for you is really, really important. Self-care is caring for your child. Now, if you've been nodding along at this list, I just want you to hear something directly from me. You are not the only one who feels that way. I feel that I talk to parents on a weekly, sometimes daily basis that They are struggling with these things. You're not overreacting. And the hard parts that you're experiencing sometimes on a daily basis are real, even when the professionals around you or other parents or even your own family are making you feel that they aren't. And working in this field has taught me that parents who are doing this work, asking these questions and fighting for their kids, are the ones who change outcomes. And that's you. The fact that you're here watching this video tells me everything I need to know about the kind of parent that you are. If this information resonated with you, I'd love to keep this conversation going. Hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos that I put out every single week, because we're gonna go deeper on so many of these topics, from navigating the medical side of autism, to future planning, to what self-care actually looks like when your plate is beyond full. And be sure to share with other families who might need to hear this information. Now, I want to hear from you. As I said, which of these 10 realities hit closest to home? Drop it in the comments below, because your experience matters here and helps others in the community, because this community is stronger together. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. I will see you on the next video.